Take a look at this possession early in Game 2. With Jalen Williams switch onto Jokić, Jokić then isolates him in a high post setup. And as Jokić starts backing down J-Dub, keep your eyes on Lou Dort. And as I freeze it right here, notice how Dort completely turned his back on his own man, MPJ, and is locked in on Jokić. Now, although Jokić eventually scores on this play, imagine if he had spotted just how far Dort had sagged off MPJ. That's a wide open look for a guy who knocked down 39.5% of his threes during the regular season. This clip isn't about questioning Jokic's court vision. It's about showcasing OKC's defensive philosophy. The Thunder put a premium on help defense. Their scheme is built on trusting quick recovery and sharp rotations, making sure no one gets left on an island without help. But Denver came into this series prepared. They recognized that tendency and made it a point to exploit the gaps in OKC's hyper-help driven system. In my last breakdown of the Nuggets following their Game 1 win over the Thunder, I talked about how Denver dominated the margins, fast break points, trips to the free throw line, and offensive rebounds. Those little battles added up to a big win. Today we are shifting gears and diving into two key actions that helped the Nuggets take both Game 3 and Game 6. The first is a classic straightforward drive and kick. It's simple, and when executed well, it can break even the most disciplined defenses. The second is a more nuanced three-man action, something the Nuggets lean on often. If you have seen my earlier breakdown from their first round series against the Clippers, you'll recognize it. Back then, the Clippers had no answers for it. And in both Game 3 and Game 6 against OKC, it worked just as well, getting Denver clean, easy looks at the rim. We all know how elite OKC's defense has been. In the regular season, they posted a league-best defensive rating of 106.6, and the gap between them and the second-best Magic was wider than the gap between Orlando and the 7th-ranked Warriors. That's how suffocating they have been. And in these playoffs, they are somehow even better, leading the field again with a ridiculous 101.8 defensive rating. But even the best defenses have pressure points. OKC thrives on aggressive help defense, even if it means completely abandoning their original matchup. During the regular season, this approach paid off. But against a team like Denver, with their experience and high basketball IQ, that same strategy can quickly become a liability. Game 3 was a perfect showcase of how the Nuggets exploited OKC's tendency to over-rotate and overhelp. Take this clip from the second quarter. The Nuggets run a simple pick-and-roll action between Murray and Gordon. As Gordon rolls to the rim, watch how Aaron Wiggins sags off his man Peyton Watson to offer help. And here's the key detail. Watson isn't just any shooter. He hit 44.7% of his corner threes during the regular season. Yet Wiggins completely abandons him, collapsing into the paint to cut off Gordon's roll. Murray, seeing the defensive breakdown, fires a perfect pass to Watson in the weak side corner, and Watson calmly buries the open three. This wasn't an isolated incident. The Nuggets repeatedly punished OKC for overhelping throughout the game. Even in transition, they were surgical. Check out this sequence. After a made bucket by OKC, MPJ inbounds to Jokić, who immediately pushes the ball up the floor. As Shea and Jalen Williams struggle to switch effectively, Jokić finds Porter on the move. Now as I pause it right here, watch how both Chet and Caruso collapse onto Porter to stop his drive. In doing so, they open up two kick-out options. One is Murray, but Porter has his back to him, making that pass nearly impossible. The other is Westbrook, who at this freeze-frame moment looks like a wide-open target. But as we play it forward, notice Cason Wallace reacting quickly, sliding over to cut off the passing lane to Westbrook. That rotation, while well-intentioned, leaves Watson completely unguarded on the wing. MPJ reads it instantly, whips a pass to Watson, and once again Watson knocks it down from 3. Denver made OKC pay every time they leaned too heavily into help defense. And the tape doesn't lie. The Nuggets knew exactly what to do in those situations. And here's one last clip to highlight just how effectively Denver has been punishing OKC's tendency to overhelp. Aaron Gordon comes off a screen and drives into the middle. Cason stays just a step too far from Brown to fully cut off Gordon's penetration. Gordon instantly reads the floor and kicks it out to Brown, who wastes no time attacking the recovering Wallace. This puts Wiggins in a tough spot. He rotates over to help, leaving Westbrook wide open in the corner. Brown makes an extra pass, and Westbrook calmly drills the corner 3. Now, while Westbrook shot just 32.3% from deep during the regular season, he's been far more efficient from the corners, knocking those down at an impressive 42.5% clip. That's not the kind of shot you want to be conceding, especially against a team as precise as the Nuggets. Now shifting gears to another action that's brought Denver a lot of success, not just in this game, but throughout the playoffs, including their first round series against the Clippers. It's a simple yet effective sequence involving an initiator, a screener, and an off-ball cutter. But rather than explain it up front, let me show you. In this instance, Jokić sets an off-ball screen for Murray. Murray then comes off that screen and cuts towards the rim. But with the passing lane shut down, Gordon instead swings it to Jokić at the top of the key. Jokić isolates, gives a quick pump fake that gets Hartenstein off his feet, and then drives straight to the basket. With Hartenstein still recovering and no other rim protector in sight, Jokić finishes the possession with a smooth layup. Here's a similar variation of the action from the Nuggets' first round series against the Clippers. Once again, Jokić sets the screen for Brown to cut, but just like before, the Clippers anticipate the pass and shut down the lane. So instead of forcing it, Gordon kicks it back out to Jokić. This time though, Zubac overhelps in trying to deny the pass to Brown, leaving Jokić with extra space. And unlike the previous clip, Jokić now has enough separation to calmly rise up and drain the three without much contest. This is just one of the many layers of this action. When the cutter isn't open, the screener in this case can simply spot up, ready to shoot or create a play. Another variation is, sometimes instead of cutting, the off-ball player flares out to the 3-point line. And with the Nuggets' elite shooting, that spacing often leads to a clean, high percentage look from beyond the arc. Of course, the most common version is when the pass to the cutter is available, leading to an easy bucket or a quick read and dish. And sometimes when the initial action doesn't yield an advantage, the Nuggets will simply run it again with the same possession, like in this clip, where Murray doesn't get much from the first attempt, so they reset and Jokić comes off a screen for a smooth catch and shoot jumper. This kind of versatility is what makes this 3-man action so deadly, and why Denver has leaned onto it so heavily throughout the playoffs. Even this deep into the postseason, they are still generating great looks from it. We are all used to seeing the deadly Murray-Jokić pick and roll, or those Jokić post-ups, especially in crunch time. But what often flies under the radar are the early game sets. Those subtle actions Denver runs to get easy buckets before the defense can even settle in. With Game 7 right around the corner, keep your eyes peeled. See if you can spot both versions of the action we broke down in this video. And if you do, jump into the comments. Let me know what you think about their effectiveness and how you'd counter it if you were coaching OKC. With everything on the line in Game 7, this is the ultimate test on whether OKC has cracked the code on Denver's high-powered offense. If they can throw Denver off their rhythm, disrupt their flow, and impose their will, then a ticket to the Western Conference Finals is theirs for the taking. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate all your support, and I can't wait to break down more film with you next time.
He did it, led to a turnover on that possession.
Murray for three, got it and a foul. Chance at a 4-point play for Jamal Murray.